Hi, my name is Craig Turner. I'm Sports Scientist for the Nike Football Academy and you're watching 442 Performance. So today basically we did our concentric strength training program. We generally do this 3 days after a game in the afternoon session following a pitch session. So the lads will come into the gym and what we want to do is basically minimise the eccentric loading of the program and focus primarily on that concentric. So that is the shortening of the muscle. So what kind of power and stabilisation we can get through that. So the first element of the program, we go through a mid-thigh shrug. So basically you get a barbell, bring it into mid-thigh, you drop it in, and then we're going nice and powerful. So we're getting that triple extension through calf, through hip, and then shoulder. So basically that one works through a nice force velocity curve. So we're going power from the ground right up into the upper body elements. So we're going all the way through. So it's basically as if you're like a puppet on puppet strings. You're being pulled straight up. So we're working the full continuum like a total body exercise. So we do 3 sets, 3 reps of that. We'd move on. We'd go into hip thrusts. So predominantly now we're working that lower extremity. So the concentric force of glutes and hamstrings. So what we want to do there is basically we get a barbell. Our shoulders are back on a box. We sit in and then bam, we power through again. We're going from posterior to anterior, working that drive and then nice and gently stabilise, control through. So we want everything in line, shoulder, hip, knee and foot. Then what we do is we move on from them 2 compound exercises, then we go into a agonist and antagonist push and pull. So we get that dumbbell chest press, we're going in, making sure the dumbbells don't touch in the middle, nice and stabilised, elbows underneath the dumbbell, wrist in line, elbow and shoulder alignment has to be right. So we're pushing back and nice and through. Then we pair that with a pull. So we do a horizontal push into a horizontal pull. So we go and get our stabilised leg onto the bench, other leg goes out for support, and then basically we're engaging hips back, keeping nice straight back alignment, then we're pulling that dumbbell in towards our chest, making sure that the back is working around the scapula. So it's nice and tight pulling in. So you feel that chest contraction, you feel that back contraction. So that's where you're working your agonist and antagonist pair around the shoulder. Then, once we've done 3 sets of that, 5 reps each time, we'll go into a rest period after each set. Within that rest period, I like to do a little bit of mobility work. So generally, we do different variations of shoulder, back and chest mobility. So the one that we did today was band pull aparts. So basically, you start in that kind of isometric hold of the chest, and then you're pulling that band apart, nice and in, and then you're pulling them scapulas together, all in line, just keeping that straight line at that 180-degree axis, and you just do 5 to 6 reps of that. So that'll be in your minute rest. Then, once we've done our antagonist-agonist push and pull, what we do is we go into more kind of concentric stabilisation around the hip, and the hamstring as well. So what we do is we'd use a Kaiser machine. This Kaiser machine enables us to put a force of resistance against our contractions. So what we're doing is mimicking a sprinting technique, but we're in a machine. So the force of the machine pulling us up, we're having to stabilise at the hip through extension and flexion to make sure that the hip isn't overextending or going through overextension when we're coming back. So again, we'd go into 3 sets of that and we'd do 3 repetitions each side. We'd then superset that again with Nordics. Nordics is a great exercise because it allows that hamstring stabilisation in that concentric holding. So that is where the hamstring's shortening and then we're slowly lengthening the muscle, causing that stabilisation, causing that strengthening, that stretching. Nordics are a great exercise for injury prevention. Hamstring injuries that happen a lot in football. So what we try and do is we try and do low amount of volume of Nordics because they can be quite detrimental to muscle tearing. But at that same time you need that tear to cause that kind of adaptation for that strengthening. So we'd only do 2 sets of Nordics with 2 reps. We'd pair them together with the Kaiser sprints. So you do 3 sets of the Kaisers, in between you do the 2 sets of the Nordics.